We all want to keep our minds sharp, don't we? But what if I told you that some of the most powerful tools for your brain health aren't in some futuristic lab, but are actually sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now? Today, we're diving into the incredible science-backed connection between everyday herbs and spices and how well our brains work. It's a pretty bold question, I know, but it's one that scientists are taking more and more seriously. You know, as we all look for ways to support our long-term brain health and fight back against cognitive decline, this idea that simple ingredients could be a line of defense, well, it's pretty compelling. And this isn't just wishful thinking, not at all. There is a huge and growing body of scientific evidence that shows what we eat, and specifically the spices we use, can directly impact our brain. Some studies are even suggesting that certain spices might help protect us from neurodegenerative disorders, conditions like Alzheimer's, where brain cells decline. This is the exciting new field of neuronutrition. All right, so there are dozens of herbs with potential benefits, but to keep things focused, we're going to zero in on 3 of the heavy hitters, the most researched and powerful players when it comes to memory and protecting your brain. First up, we've got sage. So how does this one work its magic? Well, its power comes down to one key thing. It helps preserve a chemical messenger in your brain called acetylcholine. Think of acetylcholine as the oil that keeps your cognitive engine running. It's absolutely vital for memory, learning, and attention. By stopping it from breaking down too fast, sage helps keep everything running smoothly. In fact, a 2017 review confirmed it can boost memory in adults of all ages. Next, let's talk about turmeric, and more specifically, its superstar active compound, curcumin. Now, you've probably heard it's great for fighting inflammation, but its brain benefits are just stunning. Research shows curcumin can help reduce what are called beta amyloid plaques. These are basically sticky clumps of protein that gunk up the works and get in the way of brain cell communication, a key hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. So by clearing out this gunk and cooling inflammation, curcumin offers some serious brain protection. And get this, the effects can be incredibly fast. This quote from a study is just amazing. It showed people had improved memory and attention after just 1 hour. And after 4 weeks, the benefits were even bigger, boosting working memory, energy, and even feelings of calmness. I mean, wow, that's one fast-acting spice. And finally, our third key player, rosemary. Now, using rosemary for memory is nothing new. We're talking scholars in ancient Greece and Rome using it to help them concentrate. And today, science has figured out why. It's thanks to a powerful antioxidant called carnosic acid. It basically acts like a bodyguard for your brain cells, shielding them from damage and kicking the brain's own protective systems into high gear.
And believe me, the list does not stop there. You've got cinnamon, which helps get more blood and oxygen flowing to the brain, ginger, which fights off a type of cell damage called oxidative stress. It's wild to think that even just the smell of mint has been shown to improve focus. It really goes to show you've got a whole pharmacy right there in your pantry.
Okay, so we know these spices are doing something amazing, but what's actually happening on a biological level? How are they pulling this off? Let's break down the science just a little bit. So let's use cinnamon as our example. It's like a chain reaction. First, it boosts blood flow to the brain. That means more oxygen, more nutrients. But here's the really crucial part. It also helps stop something called tau aggregation. That's when proteins inside your brain cells get all tangled up, disrupting communication, which is another big problem in Alzheimer's. So the end result of all this is just better all-around support for your memory. And what I find so cool is that different spices have different game plans. Think of rosemary as a general, rallying the brain's own defensive troops. Turmeric, on the other hand, is like a special ops team, going in and directly targeting the bad guys, the inflammation and those harmful plaques. They both protect the brain, they just take totally different paths to get there. All right, the science is fascinating, but here's the most important question. How do we actually use this information? This next part is all about making it super easy to get these powerful compounds into your daily life. And honestly, it really is this simple. We're talking about a teaspoon of cinnamon in your coffee, a little bit of turmeric in your soup, some fresh rosemary on chicken. These aren't complicated recipes. They're just small, consistent habits that let you tap into the power of these spices day in and day out. So, after hearing about all these amazing benefits and seeing how easy it is to use them, which one are you most excited to try first? Are you going to go for the memory-enhancing sage, or maybe that fast-acting turmeric? Go ahead, drop your choice in the comments below. I'd really love to see what you're thinking. And hey, if you're finding this explainer helpful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on what we've got coming up next. Okay, hold on. Before you go and completely overhaul your spice rack, we really need to pause for a second. While these herbs are totally safe in the amounts you'd use for cooking, we need to talk about a few important things, especially if you're thinking about larger doses or supplements. This chart here really sums it up. For instance, the most common type of cinnamon you find in the store, cassia, has a compound that can be tough on your liver if you take way too much of it. Turmeric, in huge supplemental doses, can sometimes cause an upset stomach. And rosemary might interact with certain meds, like blood thinners. The bottom line is simple: moderation is key. And this right here, this is the single most important point. This is non-negotiable. This information is purely for educational purposes. It is never a substitute for professional medical advice from a real doctor. If you're thinking about making big dietary changes or taking supplements, you absolutely must talk to your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional first, okay? So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that your kitchen can be an incredibly powerful ally on your journey for long-term brain health. Using these herbs and spices in your everyday cooking is a delicious, accessible, and science-backed way to support your mind. And that kind of leaves us with this final thought, doesn't it? As we push the absolute limits of modern medicine, it's just fascinating to see science validating the wisdom of these ancient traditions again and again. Maybe the future of protecting our brains is really about looking back at the natural pharmacy we've had all along. What do you think about all this? This blend of ancient knowledge and modern science? I would genuinely love to hear what you think down in the comments. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and be sure to subscribe for more explainers that really make you think.